All right, some of you were asking today about doing a retake. So, some of you are in this situation. You failed your test. Now what? Well, there's a couple of conditions that you have to meet before you're going to be allowed to do a retake. And those three conditions are listed right here. You must first go back and redo the review. And I want you to understand that from now on, if you didn't do the review before you took the test, you are going to forfeit your right for a retest. I didn't explain that to you before this first test. I really didn't know I needed to have this policy, but there were so many people who did not even bother to do the review that I feel that it's necessary to make this rule. So let me say that again. I'm actually going to put it in writing somewhere. Don't bother to if you don't even bother to do the review and you fail a test, you are not going to be allowed to retake it. So some of you need to go, no, all of you, if you failed the test, then you have to go back and redo the review. I'm going to open it. I will leave it open until the due date that we'll talk about here in just a second, and it'll remain open for you until that time. You're going to need to redo all the problems and you'll need to score above 80. So I will have it set so that you can redo it, I think 3, maybe 4 times. If you can't score above an 80 on the review, then you're probably not ready for the test and you need to do it again. You may need to come to tutoring. You may need to get some help. You have to do something. The whole point of the review is for you to have a good idea of whether you're ready or not. So if you don't score above an 80 on the review, you're not ready for the test. Now what are you going to do? Okay? After you redo the review, you then must email me all the problems that you had to work. Now, some of you may be thinking, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's a couple of the problems that were on the test. Like this one right here. What's the first step to solve this equation? I don't have to work that problem. I can read that problem and answer the question. If I can read the problem and answer the question, you might be able to too. So if I can read it and answer the question, then that's not one problem that I'm talking about. But like this one right here, the one where it says solve for X, I can't do that in my head. And if I can't do it in my head, I'm pretty sure you can't either. So for this problem right here, I'm going to expect you to have to write something down. Here's an example. Here's where I've come in here and I've wrote the problem down. Now I called it problem number 2, but I also realize that you may not know it's problem number 2 because as you're working it, I don't think they give you problem numbers. I realize that. So don't worry about whether it's numbered or not. But you see right here, I have this problem. I wrote the problem down. I started working it. I multiplied both sides by 2. I subtracted 5. I got the answer. This is the answer that's on the multiple choice that I would select. This is another problem right here, and I put a box around it. So when I look at this, I know that this is a problem in its entirety. I don't need to wander anywhere else on the paper. Everything that I need for this problem is shown right there. So if I go to this next problem right here, that's a problem that I need to write down. I don't know what the answer is until I work it. So you need pencil and paper and you need to work the problem. Here it is right here. I wrote the problem down. I isolated my absolute value bars. I split it into 2 problems. I subtracted 8 from both sides. This was my answer that I got, but notice that this is the answer that I had to select. So be sure you include on your paper the answer that you selected. That's going to let me know that you knew which one of these to pick. All right, so let me go back to my list of instructions. You need to redo the review and score above an 80. Then you need to turn your work in. Okay? If it needs to be worked, then you need to put it on a piece of paper, take a picture of it, and email it to me. These two things must be done before you email me about making arrangements to retake the test. There are 2 Fridays that are going to take place, this Friday and the following Friday. Let me get the dates for you. I'm talking about Friday, September the 18th. That's this Friday. And then there's Friday, September, I think it's going to be 25th. Let me double check on my calendar real quick. Friday, yes, September the 25th. That's next Friday. One of these 2 Fridays, if you're planning on retaking the test, you will need to email me and tell me and make arrangements with me about a time. Because guess what we're going to do? The same thing we did this today, or yeah, the same thing that we did on your test day. You're going to join a Google Meet. I'm going to open the test and you're going to take it. Also understand the best grade you can make on a retest is a 70. Now, that's Fort Worth ISD policy. That's not my policy. So you have to do all of this in order to, the best grade you're going to make on a retest is a 70. Now that doesn't mean that you have to make 100 in order to get a 70. If you make 100, you're going to get a 70. If you make a 95, you're going to get a 70. If you make an 85, I'm going to record a 70. If you make a 70, I'm going to record a 70. If you make a 65, I'm going to record a 65. So that's how it works. 70 is the best grade I'm going to write down. Also, because you're going to go back and do the review, I will change the grade on the review, okay, to whatever grade you make. I'll let you keep the best grade because you're going to have to work hard for this. The bottom line is that it's much easier to do it right the first time. But if you didn't do it right the first time, it's okay. It's not too late. You can still fix it. This is just the process that you have to go through. I am available for tutoring on my tutoring hours and other times as well. So all you have to do is check with me and we can, find a common time. But this is what you have to do. This is what you have to do right here. And you must be sure you get it done by these 2 dates. Okay, so if you're ready to do it this Friday, that'll be great. If you're not ready, we can do it next Friday. And Friday is going to be the best day to do it because I don't have other classes getting in the way. If for some reason these 2 Fridays don't work out, you can try for office hours. But sometimes I have to have, parent meetings and things like that during my office hours. So if something is already planned for my office hours, then that may not work, but you can certainly try. Okay. But there's going to need to be a real good reason why you can't do it on a Friday, because that's what Fridays are for. All right. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll be happy to explain it further.